So last weekend we were headed to Kentucky to a race. Billy was driving the motorhome, towing his Camaro down in an enclosed trailer. I was pulling my trailer down with my dually, hauling the Cutlass for Kenny. Kenny, on the other hand, was driving Vicky's El Camino down for us so Vicky and I can take it to the lake on Sunday. All right, guys, so we're on the road to Lake Cumberland Dragway down in Kentucky. Tonight there's a backside race. Billy and Kenny are both racing tonight. Kenny's going to be driving the Cutlass. Billy's going to be in the white Camaro. Tomorrow, Saturday, they have a front side event, so we'll be racing both days. And then Sunday, we're hoping to maybe go visit the lake and just kind of take an easy day. We'll see how it goes, but pretty excited for Sunday, I can tell you that. It was supposed to be a little over 5-hour drive one way from our place down to Lake Cumberland, and it probably would have been had there not been about 1 million yard sales. But regardless, we made it down to Jamestown, Kentucky in just over 6.5 hours. Now, this track used to be an airport, but at some point the airport closed and the place was remodeled into a drag strip. The asphalt in both lanes was torn out and re-poured in concrete, along with new concrete walls. However, this evening we're racing on the back end of the track, starting at the 8th mile and racing into the shutdown. And then Saturday we're racing on the front side of the track, starting at the regular starting point. As I mentioned earlier, Kenny's going to be driving the Cutlass and Billy's going to be driving his new 67 Camaro. So far the car's only been entered in one backside race, and it went to the semifinals. Since then, Billy has replaced the rear shocks, and he feels like he's got a good shot at winning this thing tonight. Kenny, however, is going to be running the Cutlass in True Street, which requires a cruise into town. All the different cars that were required to take the cruise lined up on the track behind the lead car driven by Landon Helm, who led everyone down to the end of the shutdown and turned left onto a new street that comes into the backside of the track. We were hoping that the Cutlass would make the cruise without any problems because technically this is the first time Kenny's ever driven the Cutlass on the street. Billy just picked this car up like 3 weeks ago, so none of us really have any idea what the car's capable of on the surface we're about to race on later this evening. But Kenny's just here to have fun. He's not necessarily taking this ultra serious. The fact that he's here with us with the car and he's racing is a win in and of itself for Kenny. The hard tire cars and daily driver cars were up first, with True Street and small tire cars running last. Thankfully, the Cutlass made the cruise without any problems, but without any real idea what to do with the car first round, it was kind of a shot in the dark for Kenny. But he did the best he could. The Cutlass initially stuck the tire really good. However, when Kenny got on the second kit, it completely blew the tires off.
There's a whole lot of nothing out there.
Did you get on the button? Or
Yeah, I started to get on the second button right at that transition, and it just, I should have stayed off of it. That's what I should have done.
I was like, it was going at first, and I was like, I bet he grabbed that button a little early. Which I told you to.
He was out of car on me, so.
Well, he had out of it. Like, he almost went into your lane. He almost crossed. Dang it, man.
It fooled you because it initially stuck.
Yeah.
And then you got confident and grabbed that button, and then it was all bad.
Probably right on that black top patch.
She does G-body things.
So this brings us to Saturday, and since the racing doesn't start until 8 p.m. tonight, we've got a little bit of a field trip scheduled today. All right, guys, so this morning, Landon Helm, one of the owners of the track down here, has invited us to go to lunch and to go visit a private car collection. I have no idea how many cars or what kind of cars or anything, but Landon says it's pretty extensive, and he thought it'd be pretty interesting. Since the racing doesn't start up until 8 o'clock tonight, we've got plenty of time to burn today. So I'm in the El Camino. Billy, Chris, Kenny, and Mr. Wyatt are in the Suburban, and Landon is in the truck, I think with his son. And so we're all gonna go get a little something to eat down here, and then we're going to go check out this car collection. We all drove into downtown to the downtown square and found a place to park, and Landon was excited to take us into this little restaurant right off the square that belongs to some friends of his. It's actually right next to a very famous guitar shop. The restaurant's called Real Java, and they're known for a lot more than just coffee. Chris and Kenny were checking out the desserts that Vicky's evidently going to miss out on today. What do you think, Kenny Powers?
Blueberry, too.
We all immediately started texting pictures to Vicky, so we'll probably be back here tomorrow on our way to the lake. The place is spotless clean and the food is really good. And Wyatt loved the decorations. While we were eating lunch, Landon started to explain to us what this car collection's all about that we're about to go see. Now, typically when someone tells you they've got a friend with a multi-million-dollar car collection, you never know what to expect. You don't know whether it's going to be a bunch of old, dusty, dirty cars in a barn or maybe a handful of cars in a pole building, but I would have never guessed what we were about to walk into. Welcome to Stevens Classic Cars. Obviously, this is probably going to be a little bit more than your average car collection and definitely more than a pole barn. It appears that there's at least 80 to 100 cars on display in here, all of which are detailed to perfection. There's a little bit of something in here for everyone, from classic Corvettes to Chevelles and muscle cars from GM, Ford, and Chrysler. Typically, I'm more attracted to the Chevrolet stuff, but honestly, everything in this building is worth stopping to look at. I really enjoyed checking out this real deal Copo Camaro and this beautiful 69 pace car convertible parked right next to it. But out of everything in here, one of my favorites was this beautiful 55 Chevy convertible pace car that literally looked like the day it was new, and I couldn't wait to talk to the owner. How are you today?
I'm doing great, doing great. Welcome to Russell Springs.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. And not only just the quality of the cars, but the cars themselves. There's some extremely rare cars in here.
Well, I've been doing this for a little over 20 years and learned early on there to try to focus on rare cars, limited edition cars. Of course, we got a lot of convertibles. And just special cars. I used to buy cars that I like. Now I try to buy cars that will hold their value. And
yeah, this is an investment, really.
It is.
Tell me about this white Mustang. Now, I'm not a Ford guy, but this one intrigues me.
Well, I like everything. I like all the muscle cars, but this is both of these cars here are both lightweight cars. This is a 66 and this is a 67. They were built for drag racing. I've been going to these auctions for over 20 years, and a lot of the usual suspects will be there, and you get acquainted with some people that know everything about a Mustang,
right,
everything about a Corvette,
right,
and so I lean on a lot of the experts there,
sure,
before I buy.
Well, 67 happens to be my favorite year Mustang.
Oh, good.
My ultimate favorite.
Well,
I like the coupe cars. This one's a fastback, but oh my gosh.
Yeah,
factory lightweight, 67.
That's pretty neat there. And then I started several years ago accumulating several of the Boss 9s there, and I've got 6 of them at six different colors. But I've got several drag cars. There's a car over here that's got a 66 model Chevelle that's got 2,200 actual miles, all drag miles.
Oh my gosh.
And it was referred to as the Bounty Hunter back in the day, and it raced back in the Niagara Falls area.
Up in New York.
In New York, it sure did, yeah. But
yeah, I saw that 66 Chevelle over there. That thing's beautiful. I mean, every car in here is gorgeous, like amazingly restored or original. One that really caught my eye is that 58 Impala convertible sitting down there, the white one. Original paint.
That is a very rare car.
It is a 315 horse, one of only a handful, factory 348 dual 4-barrel 11-to-1 compression.
I bought that car at an auction there in North Carolina.
Wow.
A year or so ago. I was really lucky to get it.
So this place is open to the public if people want to stop by, or is it by appointment only, or?
No, it's we're here after hours. On Saturdays we're open from 9 till 12.
Okay.
Through the week we're open from 8 to 2, and I can't, I don't bring. I'm not going to charge friends, neighbors, people I grew up with to come and look and view my hobby, but we do have a plaque up there for asking for a $10 donation. It's
sure.
It's for a charity. It's for the Baptist Mission charity.
I got you. So, that's nice.
You'd be surprised how many people come in, and instead of giving us $10, we got sometimes they'll write a check for $500 or something. That's
awesome.
So we've been able to raise some money for a very worthy cause.
So how many cars are in here?
I have 100 in here right now.
There's 100 in here right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's air conditioned.
It is.
It's climate controlled. It'd have to be to keep this level of car, this many cars in here.
We try to keep. We'll try to keep. Like I say, we've just been open a month, but we're going to keep a year-round stable
So it's just been open a month? This is brand new.
This is brand new.
Oh, I didn't know that.
New, yeah. I've had a museum here for many years, but it was an old Houchins grocery building.
I got you.
And it was getting in bad shape. And anyway, so I've been looking forward to building a new museum for
Well, this
quite
is
some
beautiful.
time. Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit of everything in here. There's Pontiac, Chevrolet, Mopars, Fords, Oldsmobiles, Buicks. There's a little bit of everything in here.
I grew up next door to a Gulf station, and I was the wash boy there.
Oh, really?
Starting when I was in the 7th grade. So I grew up with these cars. Graduated from high school in 1970, so I grew up in the era of the muscle cars in the late 60s. And so
I can tell, because you're collecting gas station memorabilia and all kinds of stuff in here.
Yeah, and so anyway, these are cars that we all dreamed about back in the day, and I've been fortunate enough to be able to put together a museum here and open to the public. So a lot of people come in and enjoy it.
Well, I tell you what, I really appreciate you inviting us to come up here and visit today. This is beautiful. I've never seen a collection of cars in a private owner's hands like this. Like, I've been to the Henry Ford Museum, and those cars up there aren't nearly as nice as these down here, you know. But wow.
Well, it's a fun hobby. It's a fun hobby. And I enjoy going to the auctions. I go to several a year, and it's hard to get out of there without buying something.
Well, if you ever need somebody to go with you, I'm available. Okay.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind. But it's you know, you can go to some of these sales. Go to a sale down in Kissimmee, Florida. They sell 5,000 cars.
Yeah.
I mean that's 13, 14 day sale. So I mean it'll wear. I mean it's a lot of hard work, but it's a fun hobby, and you meet a lot of nice people.
Well, you've had a rough couple of days, actually a rough week.
So let's back up. We were in Kentucky the last time I filmed for the video.
Yeah.
And we had intended to go to the lake on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get to do that. I did get to take you to lunch, barely.
Yep.
And you got to visit that restaurant we went to up in town. You
got my desserts.
Got your desserts.
It was blazing hot too, and we were on very short sleep, all of us. So
Billy
anyway,
had something he needed to get home. He wanted to go home, so we all went home. And as I was filming outside the restaurant, I held my phone up, and I was filming you actually walking in the restaurant, and I felt something in my mid back, right here on my right side, and I thought I just pulled a muscle. But then we started to notice I had a trend of having an upset stomach and vomiting.
this pain has become more constant and steady, and he can't get comfortable.
I can't, I have to, like right now it's hurting.
Fast forward, I finally talk him into going to get this checked out, and we go to the ER last night, and we waited 2 hours after getting triaged.
They
and
put
he's
an
like,
IV in me.
Yeah.
They're like, well, let's just go ahead and put you an IV in. I'm like, okay, great. That means I'm going back to bed and I'm probably going to be laid up. Hell, I didn't even get to that part.
No. We sat in the
for
waiting
2
room.
hours.
Yeah. And after that, he was like, nope, forget it. I'm out.
I had him pull the IV out of my arm and we left.
Yeah. So now I called the family doctor this morning, and we're going that route to see if we can find out, hopefully get a scan or an ultrasound or whatever to find out if his gallbladder's okay, because I feel like it might be that.
So all the footage that I thought I was going to be filming and sharing with you guys didn't happen. And then there's been more bad news after we got home, but we'll get to that after the doctor's appointment.
Okay.
To add insult to injury, we're almost 15 to 20 minutes late for my appointment.
Can you please behave?
Obviously, we were looking forward to going to the lake on Sunday and filming and sharing all that on the channel. But instead, you're going to a doctor's appointment with me. And even though Vicky made us late, it's a good thing she came with me, because I would have walked out of this thing immediately. What happened to just walking in and telling them who you are?
This is easier.
Remember, this is coming from the same woman who couldn't order McDonald's on a kiosk. I figure we're already late and they're probably going to skip me anyway. So waiting for this damn kiosk, I'm sure my blood pressure's going through the roof.
No clipboard of papers, just boom, 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 and you're done.
Yeah? What's that red X mean?
Everything's fine.
I was extremely frustrated and in a considerable amount of pain. But thankfully they had directions on a television screen in the waiting room to explain to you how to relax. All I needed to do was follow the instructions. However, people probably wouldn't be stressed out if they didn't have to use that damn kiosk to begin with. Anyway, we sat in the waiting room for, 15 or 20 minutes before they called my name to come back. So far, we're doing pretty good. We've already made it farther here in 20 minutes than we did at the ER in 2 hours. Plus, I get all these interactive tips at no extra charge. A few minutes later, a nurse came in to check all my vital signs and take my blood pressure.
Hey, you're not supposed to talk when they're taking your blood pressure.
Nobody ever told me that.
You gotta sit still and be quiet.
I was sitting still.
No, you're
Talking.
yabbering. You were jabbering. You gotta be quiet.
She said my blood pressure was high. I said it's because my wife made me late to my freaking doctor's appointment.
No,
for the millionth time.
you were talking
30
about
years.
YouTube.
30 years. 30 years of being late to everything we do.
But guess what? You got to eat lunch first, because I went and got you lunch. Since I've spent about 3 hours total now on this screwing around with whatever's wrong with me, I asked the doctor to give me a shot for some pain so that I could actually go home and accomplish something this afternoon. The shot was good enough to get me through unloading an engine that Billy had come in off the FedEx truck, but by late evening it was starting to wear off already. I honestly didn't feel much like doing anything at all, but I did go out to check on the kids in the shop who were working on the race cars trying to get everything ready to go to Milan, Michigan this weekend. Sometime over the last couple of days, Billy went up to Bob's and picked up his big block for the Nova, and he's busy putting it in while Tommy's working on his OBS Chevy right next to him on the lift. Tommy just got his 4L80E back from Dion Vickers at Vickers Performance, and he's putting it in the truck with a little bit of help from Kenny Powers. Anyway, that was Wednesday night, and that brings us now to Thursday morning, and my next doctor's appointment. Another doctor date. Today, we get to go get a CT scan so they can see what's going on in there. Yesterday, they gave me a shot for pain, and I thought, well, that ain't going to do anything. And it took 4 hours for it to kick in, which they told me it was going to take 10 minutes. It took 4 hours to kick in. Then when it did kick in, I didn't feel a damn thing. I thought, well, maybe it's over. It's not over. You were tossing and turning all night, and every bump we hit on the way, you're in pretty good pain. Whatever. Yeah. He's not feeling good, so hopefully we'll have answers soon. Now, I don't typically go to the doctor unless I'm on my deathbed, and my last trip to the emergency room at Mount Carmel East was a teetotal complete waste of time. But that wasn't the case at Diley Ridge. They got me back in the room here. They got the IV started in me. They're gonna pump me full of iodine, I guess. Check me out. This place is the shiznits. They had me right in. No wait. I'm out. They got me taken care of. It's not even 10. Is it 10 o'clock yet, Vic? Not even 10. It's not even 10? Schedule. So. I get breakfast now. Much better than the last experience at Mount Carmel East. Although I thought I was getting kicked out because I started filming in there. And then security told me I'm not allowed to film. And then security recognized me and said, hey, you got them two crazy kids. Yeah. And you got a Malibu. I thought you were in trouble. Security came over after they told you no filming in here. And I was like, oh no. But he's like, wait, you have a Malibu. Your kids race, right? One of your kids just had a kid, right? Yeah, yep. Yeah. That's us. I thought I was getting the boot. That was funny. I thought my phone was getting confiscated. Me too. I came back to the house to babysit Wyatt and waited on my results from the CT scan. Vicky ran straight to the pharmacy to pick up something that's supposed to help me flush out kidney stones. Unfortunately, my prescriptions weren't ready to pick up. And since I'm tired of laying around the house waiting to pass this kidney stone, I decided to try a new technique that will hopefully dislodge a kidney stone and allow me to pass it as quickly as possible. It will also allow me to feel like I'm getting something accomplished, especially since it's now Thursday and I haven't gotten anything done all week. Aren't you still a little sore?
I got kidney stones. I need to pass them. I gotta knock these damn things loose somehow. This is the best way I know to do it.
Oh my God, I don't know if that's really the science behind it.
Well, it's my science. I got a couple low spots back here I need to get graded off while it's still dry. So I'm using the dozer to rip the surface of this high spot up so I can use the skid loader to finish grade it here in a minute.
Are you nuts? Honey,
What?
I think you should be resting.
I have been resting and it didn't do me a damn bit of good. I've been laying around all freaking week, taking pills on it. I'm done. I got to do.
Alrighty then, do it your way.
Belt's loose.
Yeah, I hear.
Give it a minute. Friday morning, I got a text message from Todd Isaac at Jack's Wax that Billy's Fairmont was ready to be picked up. And since the weather was a little iffy, we brought the truck and trailer in to tow it home. Billy had ordered up a fishbowl delete kit, and the guys at Jack's Wax definitely delivered.
It's like a whole different car with that tent, man.
It's pretty crazy what tinting the windows on a car will do for its overall appearance.
Yeah, tent makes a huge difference.
Unfortunately, all the guys from Jack's Wax were out of town attending the grand opening of a new store down in North Carolina. Or at least, that's what we thought. Kind of unfortunate because I always like to tell the guys thank you and include them in a video when we pick up a vehicle. So we were a little bummed out as we were preparing the Fairmont to load on the trailer. Little did we know just a few moments later, we'd get a visitor from the literal OG himself. You scuffed up your vehicle. As Billy was climbing out of his newly window-tinted Yeet rocket, off in the distance we could hear some hot rods coming up 17th Avenue. That's when we noticed a beautiful maroon 55 Chevy pulling in, as well as a 32 Ford, with Jack Miner riding shotgun. Well, look who it is. How's Jack? Jack introduced us to his buddies he's been riding around with all day, and it just so happens that the owner of the 32 Ford is a flathead and street rod fanatic. I spent about a half an hour talking to Mike Wallace about his 32 Ford, and when I told him about my dad's 35, he offered some information on trying to keep the old flathead cool. The conversation got me motivated to go home and try and button up the cooling system on my dad's car and see if I can figure out why the old 35 Ford continues to overheat. I installed new upper radiator hoses with the proper fittings so that I can install temperature gauges on each bank of the flathead. Once I topped off the cooling system, we fired the Ford up and let it warm up and began monitoring the water temperature on each bank of the flathead. Then he helped me mount the new gauge panel on the left side of the steering column, and we immediately noticed that the right-hand side of the engine runs hotter than the left. So I installed a gate valve on the heater hose to block the coolant system from bypassing the radiator on the passenger side. So far so good, but since the headlights are so dim on the Ford, I had to wait until the next day to take it out on the road. Previously, I had no way to monitor the water temperature on either side of the block, and Mike Wallace had warned me that the passenger side bank of cylinders tends to run warmer than the driver's side. So at first, I wasn't concerned when I saw this happening, but it didn't take long for me to realize there's more going on than just your average temperature problems on a flathead. A 10 to 15 degree difference between banks is pretty typical, but a 50 to 60 degree difference is definitely a problem. So I drove the old Ford back to the shop and put it away until I've got time to do some more research and dig into this thing a little deeper. All right, guys, so we have made progress, but we have not yet fixed the overheating issue. Now, the good news is, with two separate gauges, we now know which side of the block has an issue. The bad part is, I'm afraid the block's cracked. I don't know yet. I've got a way to find out, but the exhaust on a flathead Ford exits through the side of the block and passes alongside the coolant passages in the engine. And what happens is, if the block has a crack in the exhaust port, it can put exhaust gases into the cooling system, which would explain the air pockets that I believe I'm getting. I noticed on the way home, I didn't film it. I was too busy trying to concentrate and steer and drive, but I noticed on the way home that the temperature gauge for the right side would drop down to about 180, and then all of a sudden it would shoot back up to 220. That's a clear indicator that there's an air pocket in the cooling system, and that's bad. I'm pretty sure that the block's cracked in this engine, and there's not really any good way of fixing that, I don't think. So I'm gonna do some more research on it and see if I can't figure something out. It's a shame if that's the case, because this engine runs really, really good. I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to investigate a little bit more. I'm not a flathead Ford guy. This is my first time ever working on a flathead Ford. It's a neat little engine, you know, for what it is, but it just sucks. That is a really nice car. I'll have to ask Dad what he wants to do with it. In other news, I have a visitor. Denny had his Camaro out running around today, and he called me that it died on him in town. I think the fuel pump went out of it. The kids are all racing this weekend, different places, and they've taken all the trucks and trailers with them, so I couldn't go rescue him. So Buckwheat had to go winch him up on a trailer and bring the car here, and it made it. I got it put inside, but we're gonna have to do some work on Denny's Camaro this week. The new clutch is here, so we might go ahead and do that while it's here. And I think we're gonna have to put a new fuel pump in it. So I'm feeling a little bit better. I'm still pretty sore. This week has really knocked the wind out of me. Kidney stones are not pleasant. They are not pleasant. I'm trying not to overdo it. It's really zapped my energy, but I got little spurts where I feel good, and I'll go out and I'll work for a little while, and then it'll get to hurting, so I have to go back in and lay down. But getting better. The kids are out racing. They should be back tomorrow, and yeah, so sorry about this video. It may not be the banger that you might have hoped for, but it is what it is. Life happens. I'll see you in the next one, guys.